Okay, let's just jump right in. Imagine this. What if you could build a serious online traffic engine without ever having to show your face? Well, today we're digging into a formula called Taste2Traffic that claims it's totally possible.
I mean, this is the big one, right? It's the question so many of us ask. Is there a real formula for creating that faceless, passive income online? Something that doesn't force you to become an influencer or jump on every new trend that pops up. Well, according to the source we're looking at today, there is a very specific answer. And that answer? Well, it boils down to two things that might seem almost too simple: Pinterest and recipes. Yep, that's it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pinterest and recipes? Really? But stick with me here, because the magic isn't just in those two things. It's all about the system for combining them.
All right, so let's get into the why. Why this specific combo? What makes it such a potential goldmine? Well, it all starts with realizing what Pinterest actually is, and more importantly, what it's not. And here's the absolute game changer. Think about a platform like Instagram or TikTok. You post something and poof, it's basically gone in 24 hours. Its lifespan is incredibly short. But Pinterest, it's not really social media in the same way. It's a visual search engine. People go there with intent, actively looking for stuff. This means a pin you create today could still be sending you traffic months or even years down the line. It's an asset, not just a fleeting post.
And we're not talking about a small niche here. The scale is just huge. Get this. Over 60% of the people on Pinterest are there looking for food and recipes. You're not trying to convince people they should be interested. The audience is already there, they're massive, and they're literally hungry for what you're offering.
This quote from the source really says it all, doesn't it? Grandma's banana bread still pulls clicks. I mean, think about it. The latest phone is obsolete in a year. Fashion trends die out. But a fantastic recipe? That's timeless. It's the definition of evergreen content. It just keeps working for you year after year.
So let's just recap why recipes totally crush it in this system. You've got your evergreen classics, like that banana bread, giving you a steady, reliable stream of traffic all year. Then, bam, you get these huge, predictable spikes for things like Thanksgiving recipes, Christmas cookies, or summer grilling. It's this perfect mix of stability and seasonal rushes that makes it such a powerful niche. Okay, so the what and the why are clear. Now for the really cool part, the how. How do you do all this without it becoming a full-time, soul-crushing job? This is where the AI-powered toolkit comes in, turning what could be a grind into a super efficient system. All right, let's look at what the source calls the AI cooking stack. It's pretty genius. You've got ChatGPT acting as your recipe developer and writer. Then there's Canva, which is like your food stylist and photographer, making all the visuals look amazing. The real secret weapon, though, is a tool like Goblin AI for bulk creation. Think of it as your assembly line. And hey, you can even throw in AI voice tools to whip up quick audio for video pins. But here's the thing. Having the tools is only half the battle. The golden rule that makes this all work is a concept called batching. Seriously, this is key. It means you don't just randomly make one pin. No, you dedicate a block of time to just writing, say, 20 recipes. Then you dedicate another block to just designing all the pins for them. It's an assembly line mindset, and it's what stops you from going crazy and makes the whole thing sustainable. Okay, so we've got our strategy, we've got our toolkit. Now it's time to actually build the traffic engine. And this engine really only has two main parts, the core blog and the Pinterest assets that fuel it. Your blog is mission control. It's the headquarters. Every single pin you put out there has one job and one job only, to get someone to click and land on your blog. That's the destination. It's where the complete recipe is, and crucially, it's the place where you actually monetize all that traffic.
So what's the anatomy of a pin that actually goes viral? It's not about being the world's best graphic designer. It's really about psychology. You need four things. First, a headline that's super specific and solves a problem. Second, a picture that's just mouth-watering. Third, text on the pin that's big, bold, and easy to read on a phone. And fourth, a simple little nudge telling them what to do next.
Here's a classic example of a weak headline. Chicken recipe. It's just nothing. It's boring, it's generic, and it's going to get scrolled past a million times. Now look at this, a strong headline,
Easy, 10-minute chicken wraps, perfect for busy weeknights. See that? Instantly you know it's fast. 10 minutes, and you know who it's for. People with busy weeknights. It's not just a recipe, it's a solution. That's what earns the click.
All right, this is the part everyone's waiting for. The traffic engine is running, people are flocking from Pinterest to your blog, so how do we turn those clicks into actual cash? The system uses a smart mix of a few different income streams.
So, the source suggests you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You start with display ads, which give you a nice passive base income. Then you sprinkle in affiliate links, maybe for a specific brand of chocolate chips or a kitchen gadget you love. But where the real potential is in creating your own digital products. Think recipe ebooks, meal plans. That's where your margins get really good.
Now here's a pro-level move, building an email list. It's simple. You offer something awesome for free, like a PDF of your top 5 dessert recipes. All they have to do is give you their email. Then, an automated little email sequence kicks in. It sends them some helpful tips, maybe another recipe, and then it can gently introduce them to your paid ebook. This is how you go from a one-time visitor to a repeat customer.
Okay, everything we've talked about so far gets the engine built and running. But what if you want to take it to the next level? The final piece of this whole strategy is about scaling, about pouring gasoline on the fire and creating what the source calls the flywheel effect.
So what does scaling mean in this context? It means hitting this number, 100 plus. The goal is to get to a point where you are publishing over 100 new pins every single day. And I know that sounds completely insane. And if you were doing it by hand, it would be. But remember that AI toolkit and the batching system? That's what turns this from an impossible task into a manageable, systematic process.
And here's the 3-step workflow to make it happen. Step 1. You use AI to bulk generate, let's say 20 or 30 recipe ideas and all the text for them. Step 2. You go into Canva for a design sprint and crank out 30, 40, 50 pin variations using templates. Step 3. You load all of that into an automation tool and it schedules everything out for you. It's a system.
But it's super important to remember this isn't a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. The real long-term growth comes from what the source calls the loop method. It's a constant cycle. You look at your stats, what's working, which pins are driving the most traffic. Then you double down on those winners. You make more content like that. Then maybe you expand with a new offer, and then you just repeat. You're always analyzing and optimizing the engine.
So there you have it, a complete blueprint from the big idea all the way to the tools, the monetization, and the advanced scaling strategy. It's a whole different way of thinking about content, not as a creative chore, but as building a well-oiled, automated machine. So, the only question that's really left to ask is, what traffic machine will you build?